2023 is going to be a great year for coasters, at least for Europe and China. In today's video, I'm taking these new for 2023 coasters and ranking them from worst to best. I know like almost every single coaster YouTuber has already done this video, but for one, I'm going to do this better, and two, I'm going to do 50 whole entire coasters. That's an absolute ton. This is video 2 of a 2-part series, so I highly recommend checking out the first part before anything else. I'll add it in the info card in the top right, and the link will be in the description. Now the problem with doing 50 coasters is finding 50 coasters. There's a lot of unannounced coasters, and half the 200 or so that are opening next year are kiddie coasters. So I have juiced RCDB out of everything it had for these 50. One thing I did is took 2022 coasters that have not been opened yet or have yet to be announced and added it into this list. Cause like come on, if it's not announced, it's not gonna open in the next 2 weeks. Also, there's a bunch of large-scale coasters coming from Jinma Rides. Every single one of their coasters are completely unknown, and just how am I supposed to talk about them? It hurts me to leave them out, but I have no other choice. So continuing where we left off, in the 24th spot is Zambezi Zinger. This is a GCI Woody coming to Worlds of Fun. Hey, they finally got an addition. This coaster is definitely going to be interesting. It has a spiral lift hill, which I find really weird, and this lift hill is one of the only parts of the ride that has Titan track. This coaster is not even 100 feet tall, so don't expect some uber intense ride. I think this is going to be a good introductory thrill coaster, high level family coaster that will have a whole bunch of laterals and a couple good pops of airtime. In the 23rd spot is the Vekoma Top Gun coming to Fantaworld in China. This is a clone that is going around all of China and is yet to make it out. From the looks of it, it has a pretty weak launch and a bunch of smooth flowing inversions. There's a few airtime pops, but it's nothing really much to make it notable. This is new gen Vekoma, so it's smooth and very twisty. It's a pretty compact layout, but it still manages to get a lot of things done with it. It even has a mid-course brake run, but there's still only one launch, so that's pretty interesting. I don't know what the theming will look like on this. Hopefully they follow the other Fanta chain parks and build an aircraft carrier in the launch, because it does look really cool. The 22nd spot is another Top Gun launch coaster coming to a different Fantaworld in China. Like I said, this is a clone that's going around. You can expect pretty much the same thing with these two coasters. They might even have the same color palette and everything. Still hoping they both get aircraft carriers though. The 21st spot goes to an old relocated Intamin coaster coming to Mirabilandia. Now this coaster is super interesting. To me, it's like if Intamin tried to be aerodynamics. I mean, look at the sequence of elements. Vertical loop, cobra roll, 2 corkscrews. Intamin hasn't touched some of these elements in forever, and they are all something that aerodynamics perfects. There's a triple heartline roll at the end, but that's just for the extra oomph, right? The other question is, how is this going to ride? 2023 will be its 25th year after opening. It's been in storage for 13 years, so will Mirabilandia put this thing together correctly? I'm betting that they will, and hey, it will still be smoother than an aerodynamics looper. The 20th spot goes to Pipeline, the surf coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. I don't have high hopes for this coaster. Standing coasters are not my theme. The gimmick is dead and it's just not pleasant. I don't think the bouncing seats will solve this issue, and I don't think the ride will be out of this world. I already expressed my dissatisfaction with the surf model in another video, so if you care enough, go check that out. It got me famous on r/rollercoaster.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
The 19th spot goes to Uncharted. Now this coaster, a lot of it is unknown. We know it's an Intamin multi-dimensional coaster coming to PortAventura, and it is themed to that one video game with Nathan Drake in it. This is like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind if Intamin built it and the theming was a bit less. So yeah, it's not going to be out of this world, but I guarantee you it will be a good solid family coaster with great theming. In the number 18 spot is Tron at Magic Mountain. Imagination! We have seen this coaster at Shanghai Disneyland, and the one coming to Magic Kingdom is an exact clone. Besides having a really cool facade, this is a solid motorbike coaster. Launching in a motorbike position is incredibly fun, at least I think it is. I thought Pony Express was solid, but Tron's on a completely different level. There is an outdoor segment and an indoor dark ride segment, so it's going to be another solid family coaster with amazing theming. The one thing is, I think it's kind of weird that this is placed directly next to Space Mountain, but hey, it's whatever. The number 17th spot goes to Storm, the Dragon Legend at Tusenfreude. This is an insanely unique coaster. When's the last time we saw a launching inverted coaster? This time the manufacturer is not Intamin, it's literally Gerstlauer. To be honest, I don't think this is going to be an insane coaster. There's 2 dive loops, which is interesting on an invert, and a reverse sidewinder, and I have no idea what that is, but nevertheless, the coaster will definitely be influential, and if it's reliable, we might see some more launching inverts. The 16th spot goes to another incredibly unique Gerstlauer, Palindrome at Kotaland. This shuttle coaster looks to pack in a serious punch for a really small layout. I mean, the inversions over the road, the spike with a bump in it, a very unique first drop, and a couple of solid inversions. It's definitely going to be amazing. And the best part is, coming down the spike, you do the whole layout backwards, except for the first drop, so it's 2 times the fun, right? And the number 15 spot is Weiner Looping. This is a mock Big Dipper coming to Weiner Prater. This coaster looks to be a great addition. The highlighting element has to be that finish loop, which kind of rides different on every coaster, but the one on Monster is god tier, so I'm hoping this one was good as well. The other element is a banana roll, so it's not as cool, but hey, there's only 2 inversions, there's a couple of unique turns, and of course the first drop. It's not going to be the biggest coaster ever, but it's a solid addition to this park. The 14th spot goes to a Vekoma Firestorm at Ocean Flower Island Fairyland in China. This is a Firestorm clone, so we have seen one called Wrath of Zeus in Vietnam. This is what a large-scale Vekoma looks like. The launch is powerful and gets you up to a 164-foot tall top hat that has some airtime on the way back down. You have fast-paced inversions if you pop a ejector airtime, and to end it all off, a series of a whole bunch of turns that gives you a sense of flying. This coaster is almost perfect, I just wish it had a second launch. In the number 13 spot is Circuit Breaker at Coasterland. Now this coaster may or may not open in 2023. It's slated for a fall opening, so I'm keeping it on this list, but it's very likely to be delayed. This is a Vekoma tilt coaster. Talk about Vekoma making their mark in 2023. Now their tilt coaster is what I view a better version of the dive coaster. The tilting aspect looks so much scarier to the GP, and the best part is, there's an actually good layout that follows the drop. So it's going to have that one unique gimmick, but it's also going to be a coaster that's packed with airtime and inversions. That's why it's just a B&M dive coaster, but better. I wonder if the tilting aspect is going to be reliable. This is new gen Vekoma, so expect a smooth ride. In the 12th spot is more of Vekoma's craziness. You have a super boomerang coming to Phantom Wild in China. This is going to start with a presumed swing launch into a crazy layout that has solid hang time and airtime. You then hit a vertical spike and do the whole layout backwards. It's literally going to be so good. Vekoma has fixed all their past issues and are starting to build quality rides. Their new take on the boomerang better be good and cheap because I want to see this everywhere. In the number 11 spot is Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer. I've been waiting to see another Chance Hyper GTX for so long. After the success of Lightning Run, I can't believe how long it took them to get another edition, but it's finally here. In all honesty, I don't think this is going to be better than Lightning Run. The layout looks like a ejector on the first drop, a loop, a turnaround, 2 corkscrews, and then it goes inside. I have no idea if it's going to have an indoor segment or hit the brake runs right then and there. I can't wait to see this open, and no matter how short it is, it will still pack in one hell of a punch. Starting off our top 10 is Matagani, an Intamin accelerator. I have also been waiting for this to open forever. Here's what to expect. There will be a powerful launch into a top hat that looks to give insane ejector airtime coming back down. There's then a powerful airtime hill before going into a vertical loop. You do lose your speed in this loop, but hey, it's not the best part of the ride. You then go through a wicked series of fast-paced turns and airtime hills before going through a slow hardline roll into the station. This compact accelerator is near perfect. I'm excited to see this model breathe some fresh light, even if it is a relocation. The number 9 spot goes to American Dryer Looping. I have no idea how good this was going to be until I started looking into it. I just thought it was some old janky Schwarzkopf traveling coaster that was getting a home at Indiana Beach. But boy was I wrong. I mean, the layout is nothing crazy. The highlights are the 3 vertical loops. But guess what? You pull 6.2 Gs on one of the loops. 6.2 Gs. You know how crazy that is?
It's time to stop!
That might be a world record for operating coasters, but I'm not too sure. G-force is not often recorded. Anyways, keep your eyes open for this coaster and do not underestimate it. In the 8th spot is Turbo Turtle Power. We don't know much about this coaster, so I'm not going to spend too long talking about it. It's an Intamin Blitz with 8 inversions. An Intamin Blitz is guaranteed to be really high in the rankings, but we don't know what the layout entails, so it's stuck in the 8th spot. It's themed to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stands at 164 feet tall. This is in Nickelodeon Universe at China, so I think it's completely indoors, but we will see. The 7th spot goes to Bombay Express in Dubai. This is a GCI Woody that is pretty much unknown. It has been flying around the title as having the most airtime moments in the world, so it's gotta be good, right? We'll just have to see. From the one picture on RCDB, it looks very twisty, so I will expect a lot of laterals. I mean, GCI always has laterals, but the airtime, we'll see if they are lying or not. In the number 6 spot is Mission Ferrari. This thing is actually going to open. I have no idea what takes place in this building. It's a Dynamics Attractions SFX coaster that has 5 whole LSM launches. That's like on the level of Hagrid's. There's one outdoor corkscrew looking versions, but besides that, I have no idea what the layout entails. There's obviously going to be a handful of tricks, and there's supposed to be multiple 3D screens, so this could be one of the best all-around dark ride coaster hybrids ever. I don't know, you will just have to wait and see. The top 5 starts off with this unknown Mack hypercoaster coming to Sunac Central Tourism City in China. Mack is very good at making hypercoasters. DC Rivals is probably top 10 in the world, and the new Flash Hypermodel clone looks to pack in quite the punch. This custom layout will probably have a whole bunch of airtime and laterals, all within the comfortable Mack restraint. Again, this is another coaster we have very limited knowledge about, but if it's like anything like DC Rivals, it's going to be very, very good. Just missing out on the top 3 is our first Rocky Mountain construction coaster, Wildcat's Revenge. This is going to be an upper middle tier RMC. It's not the most notable coaster, a lot of it feels similar to other coasters by RMC, but the highlighting element has to be the 0G stall, but of course you can expect your familiar RMC elements with the ejector airtime. I don't think this is going to be insane, like on the same level of Steve or Gwazi, but it's still going to be elite. Any RMC is a good RMC. Continuing to prove their capabilities of building world-class coasters, Rocky Mountain Construction and their work on Air Force 1 wins them the bronze medal. Now this is a unique iBox model. For one, this coaster is beautiful. The multicolored track and the wild steel supports mesh together so nicely, and it is just pure eye candy. The first drop I'm going to say is not going to be crazy good. The Raven Trust Dive, however, looks to be a disorienting series of elements as you get airtime going one way and turn around and dive back down the other. The speed hill and the super long 0G stall are going to be amazing, and everything in that turnaround will be pretty average, but the quad down will recover all that has been lost and be an amazing finale. It won't be as good as Elrod's, but it's going to be damn good for a coaster this size. This RMC is not the biggest, baddest, or the best, but I think it will pack in one of the biggest punches of 2023. The silver medal goes to Batman Gotham City Escape. This is an Intamin Blitz coaster coming to Park Warner Madrid that strangely resembles Pantheon. First off, I would like to say the trains are absolutely sick. I love the lights that were added onto them, and it just is perfect. The layout starts with a launch into a slow roll, which Pantheon has, then it's a booster launch into a top hat, which Pantheon kind of has, then it's a twister segment with airtime hills, inversions, and of course turns. As soon as you start to lose speed, you'd hit a third launch that brings you into this wicked 0G stall. The ride ends with a vertical spike that rolls you back into the final brake run. The first half of this Intamin Blitz highly resembles Pantheon and is probably not going to be out of this world. I don't think anyone was raving about Pantheon being number 1. So this first half will be great, not amazing. The thing that will make this coaster so good is the second half with the 0G stall and the unique way of going into the final brake run. This is what makes it different and I believe is what makes it good. I'm just going to throw a hot take into the air right now. This coaster is obviously going to be good, that's why it's number 2. But I also won't be surprised if it doesn't live up to people's expectations.
Boy, if you don't get—
I'm just saying. The gold medal for the best coaster opening in 2023 is Totatis. I have no idea how to pronounce this coaster. This is another Intamin Blitz coming to Park Asterix, and once again I noticed some similarities to Pantheon. It has a swing launch with the airtime hill in the middle to go up into the top hat, which is exactly what Pantheon does. I think this airtime is a bit more curvy, so it gets a little extra airtime, but it's hard to tell because everything is fan-made POVs right now. This will have a 0G stall and a barrel, and in a sense it also feels very similar to Velocicoaster. I feel like all the Intamin Blitzes have similarities with each other, but this is the closest thing you'll get to Universal's beloved coaster. Now the theming on this looks to be very good, at least with the station concept art. I can tell the park values this addition. There's supposed to be 23 airtime moments on this ride, so it's going to be amazing, and I think better than the Batman Intamin Blitz. So those are the coasters opening in 2023. I think this is going to be a great year for people outside of America. Six Flags got like nothing, and Cedar Fair and SeaWorld got mostly family coasters, but Europe and China, man, they have amazing things to look forward to. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my decisions in the comment section below. That's all for today's video, guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.